Going back to training, um, what pieces of advice stuck with you when you first got started?
Oh gosh. I think it's a lot of it is bad that I've had to unpack in therapy because we could talk about the challenging underbelly of wrestling at another time.
Yeah, yeah,
But the things that stuck with me that were motivating and
yeah.
that really helped me, there's no crying in wrestling, cupcake, because there isn't. But I've also carried that in life. Do you know, like there's the time where you get to feel your feelings and be vulnerable and be emotional, and there's a place for that. But when you are in entertainment, it is kill or be killed.
Yeah,
And you have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to take criticism. You have to be able to handle no and constant rejection. You have to be able to adapt and be coachable and be, adaptable. And you have to humble yourself regularly, to keep it into perspective that this art is what you have a privilege to do and to share, and that you are not entitled to anything, and that wrestling doesn't owe you anything, no matter how much you love it, no matter how much you think you are entitled to something. Wrestling was here before us and will still be an art after us. And we are only lucky enough to join in that journey for a short time. And so we should be grateful and take that seriously and honor that in all the ways that we can. Um, so that's number one. Number two, wrestling's a perishable skill. So continue to train, stay in the ring. It's important, to make sure that you're safe at all times. And the one way that you can do that is to make sure you're always keeping up with your craft. So, and the third thing I remember, Chili Willie told me this because I was very upset at the time because I was in my entitlement phase where I thought that I should be getting some opportunities or going these places that I saw other people go because they were more connected and had more access to things that I did not have. Um, and he said, "Don't try to microwave the game." And he was saying, "You're trying to take a filet mignon and cook it in the microwave. Don't do that. Let it play out and trust the process and do this the right way." And that has always played in the back of my mind, is that you never try to microwave something that takes time and is meant to be prepared, you
sure.
know? Um, so I would encourage anybody who's young in the game or who's thinking about getting into wrestling is to keep those three things in mind. Stay humble, stay trained. Don't let social media gaslight you into thinking it's more than it is, because again, we are storytellers and it's a privilege to do what we do. Likes and follows don't translate into talent and ability. So continue to pursue the craft to the best of your ability. So yeah.
Yeah, I love how you said, like, it is storytelling. Wrestling's all about, character development and personalities and showmanship. And who are some of the people that you admired watching growing up that really displayed those traits?
Oh wow. Uh Eddie,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kong. For charisma, I'm going to say Ric Flair, but I have a complicated relationship with that assertion. Um, and I think I'm thinking of Japan now. I think Bull Nakano,
Oh, definitely.
in
Yeah,
terms of intensity and just she's always on, and it was always believable and looked ferocious and
yeah.
just
She had such a great presentation, and watching her work was spectacular. Really was.
and I didn't actually, she was not the first Joshi wrestler that I saw. I saw Manami Toyota and Aja Kong first,
Mhm.
and that kind of opened on a VHS tape. Okay, because that's how you
Mhm.
had to do it back in the
Yeah. Oh,
day.
yeah, the tape trading.
Tape trading, and then you started to get the DVDs and
Sure.
those thick ass DVD cases. But seeing her, I was drawn to Aja Kong just because she looked like me and she was in Japan and like she literally looks like me, you know? And I was like, she is amazing and she's a monster and everyone respects her and she's so good and I want to be just like her, like, you know what I mean? But then I
Hmm.
saw Bull and I was like, it was that same presence amplified, but with just such a simmering intensity under everything she did. And I was just like, this is it. You
Yeah,
know,
you were
this is what I,
mesmerized by it.
yes. It was, and you know how they say it's so important, especially when you're a younger person, to intake good things and to make sure the stuff that you are ingesting or consuming is good because those are your formative years. And it's very true,
It
you know.
is.
And so I think because I had so much of that really high quality exposure so early, even in those small doses, that has carried with me when I'm in the ring and the types of presentation that I want to present and how I want to be viewed in my career. It's always going to be quality over quantity and giving everything I have every time because that's what I saw and that's what I believe is the best part of a story is that when you can see not only is someone sharing a narrative with you, but they're also sharing a vulnerability of I'm giving you everything I have creatively in this moment.
Yeah,
And I think that's really beautiful as well.
it is beautiful. You're putting it all out there in front of a capacity crowd of the masses, and they're taking it all in, and it just really provides you a lot of energy.